One of the biggest things I've learned from speaking with hundreds of travelers and helping them plan their trips to Japan is that many people overlook a few important decisions at the very beginning of the planning process. And those decisions often determine whether you simply visit Japan or experience it in a much deeper and more meaningful way. In fact, I've seen people spend months researching their trip, yet still miss some of the best opportunities Japan has to offer without even realizing it. And my hope is for you to have the best experience possible. So today, I'd like to share 3 things I want you to think about before you start putting your plans together. These are actually the first things I look at when reviewing itineraries, but I've noticed that many people don't always consider how much influence they can have on the overall travel experience. The good news is, once you are aware of them, they are usually quite easy to address. So I hope this episode helps you create a trip that's far more aligned with the experience you actually want to have. Before diving into the details, I'd like to talk about why I see people overlook these factors most often. In most cases, it happens when people build their itinerary around a sample itinerary they found online or follow a plan that somebody else said worked well for them. And while those itineraries may have delivered exactly the experience somebody else was looking for, they don't necessarily mean they'll work well for you. That's because your interests, priorities, and the experience you'd like to have may be completely different. And the 3 factors I'm about to share with you are some of the first things I look at when helping travelers create a trip that reflects what they actually want to experience in Japan. The first thing I want you to think about is when you are visiting Japan. This may sound obvious, but I found that many people start planning where they want to go before fully considering when they are visiting. And in Japan, the timing of your trip can have a huge influence on the experience you have. Japan feels very different throughout the year. We have seasonal landscapes from spring flowers and fresh greenery in summer to autumn colors and snow in winter. In addition to that, we have traditional events and festivals that can change what I'd recommend for your trip. For example, the places I'd suggest for someone traveling during cherry blossom season may be very different from the places I'd recommend in winter. The same applies to seasonal events. During summer, certain festivals may become the highlight of your trip, while at other times of the year, they won't be happening at all. That's why I always encourage people to think about timing before deciding exactly where to go. Because the best destination for you doesn't always mean the place you've heard about most often. It can be the place that offers the best experience for the time of the year you are visiting. The second thing I want you to think about is the types of experiences you'd like to have. One of the biggest challenges I see with sample itineraries and travel advice online is that they are usually designed to appeal to a mass audience. So they often focus on famous destinations and well-known attractions. And while that's appealing to many people, I know there are also travelers who would rather enjoy a quieter experience away from the crowds. One of my clients was considering visiting one of Japan's most famous festivals in a major city because it was one of the first options she came across while researching. But when we spoke about what her family actually wanted from the trip, they were looking for something quite different. They wanted to avoid large crowds and enjoy a more relaxed experience. So we looked at other options and explored opportunities to experience local festivals in a quieter setting. And that's something I'd encourage you to think about when planning your trip. Just because a destination, attraction, or event is popular, or one of the biggest names you've heard of, doesn't automatically mean it's the best option for you. Instead, I really encourage you to focus on the experience first. What types of experiences would you like to have? What activities are you looking forward to trying? Is it more important for you to take off a major attraction or event you've heard about? Or is it more important to have the experiences you are looking for and connect more deeply with the culture and local people? Once you're clear on the experiences you'd like to have, it becomes much easier to choose destinations that are aligned with your priorities and interests. The third thing I want you to think about is how much time you are giving yourself to enjoy each experience. One of the most common things I come across when reviewing itineraries is people trying to fit too much into a single trip. I know there are so many amazing places you'd like to visit, and it's tempting to include as many of them as possible. But even if places look close to each other on a map, traveling around Japan often takes more time and energy than people expect. And when you are constantly moving from one place to another, you leave little time to actually enjoy each experience and may miss out on some of the best opportunities you'd otherwise have. Another common approach I see is people basing themselves only in major cities such as Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka, then trying to see everything through day trips. This can work well for shorter trips or for people who genuinely want to spend most of their time in cities. But if you'd like to experience what Japan really has to offer and create a balance between city experiences and the time beyond the major tourist centers, it can sometimes limit the types of experiences available to you. For example, it's often difficult to appreciate the true beauty of quieter rural areas, onsen towns, and local food experiences when you are spending several hours traveling back and forth in a single day. So, I'd really encourage you to think about what you'd like to do first, and then think about how much time you'd realistically need to experience each place. This way, you'll have a much better idea of whether you are allowing enough time to enjoy the experiences you are planning for. So, let's quickly recap the 3 things I'd encourage you to think about before putting your itinerary together. First, when you are visiting Japan. Second, the types of experiences you'd like to have. And third, whether you are giving yourself enough time to truly enjoy those experiences. If you are currently planning a trip to Japan, I hope this episode helps you approach your Japan travel plans with more clarity. And if you'd like more insights like this, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. You may also enjoy some of my other episodes on choosing destinations, crafting a personalized itinerary, and creating more meaningful experiences through local culture and connections in Japan. And if you'd like to connect with me directly, you are always welcome to find me on Instagram at japan.experts. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end. I can't wait to share more Japan travel insights with you in the next episode.